Hey, everybody. Happy 2026. We made it. Hooray. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Listen, I just want to thank you very, very much for tuning in and enjoying the podcast. Producer Chris and I are enjoying it, and it's really nice to know you're out there. So thank you. Thank you very much. And speaking of, we've got some pretty bodacious things lined up here and some pretty amazing people. Speaking of which, we're going to see what we can do about that right now.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I am producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
And here we are, yet another day in paradise.
It sure is. And today we have a really special guest for you, none other than Frank Caliendo. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. What a treat.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have to say, can I start by, it's your
course,
show, but I feel like I'm already taking over, which is what I tend to do. But it's funny because I'm not I grew up watching cartoons and loved cartoons. I think we all do. But I started hearing your voice when I first got to LA in the 2000s. Oh, okay. And it was Jim Cummings. You get into the booth and talk about movies or some like voiceovers, and your name would always come up. And they always like, well, Jim Cummings. I'm like, it was before the internet, so I didn't really know.
What's his name? Yeah.
Well, but it was amazing to hear people come up. It was you, there was a Hal Douglas, and LaFontaine, and Don LaFontaine, for those of you who don't know.
Don LaFontaine.
Yeah, right. And the Hal Douglas.
Hal Douglas was the one I always tried to do.
That's the one.
In a World on the WB.
That was the one. And I didn't know who anybody was.
Yeah.
But you did, and I watched and listened to the podcast a bunch. So you, and I think I saw an interview where you had done a lot of trailers.
Oh, yeah.
Which obviously
back in the day.
But what was your? And I'm sorry if you've done this on the show, but what was your? Did you do different trailer voices, or I used to do a bit before I set you up on your own show. I used to do a bit on. It was NBC
Tonight on NBC, the Friends cast is going crazy, and then on an all-new ER.
It was that switch that would change you knew sitcom was this guy.
And the drama was right afterward.
Oh, yes.
So did you have a specific trailer voice?
I actually did that.
Was that you?
You might have been, maybe it was me, but it was coming up next on Kids WB. But then, in a world,
right?
And whenever you say, in a world where weirdos sit in sound stages and do voices like this stupid one I'm doing now, it's
there's a recognizable. You don't go as Hal Douglas would hit a lot more rumble. LaFontaine would, but he would punch you in the face with it, right?
Yes.
If I was visualizing, you a little soft but stern enough that you felt drama, right?
Yes.
And Hal Douglas was a little. I don't want to make it sound negative toward you, but it was a little sweeter. It was a little like his like he did that trailer.
He had folksy.
Yes,
he had a little folksy.
Folksy. That's part of the reason I'm here is to learn the vernacular of a pro. But that Hal Douglas,
up and down, and all around.
Yes,
and that he did that trailer for Seinfeld, the Seinfeld comedian movie, and they broke it down. We did a thing at the WB because I had a show there, and I don't know if this was before that or after, but I walked on stage for the sound stage, and I was going to do a bunch of impressions. And the bit was that the voice of God, which was Hal Douglas, he would come on and go, in a world, what are you talking? Oh, no, actually, he would come on and he goes,
one man named Frank Caliendo.
Me? And I'm looking around. And he goes,
he thinks he's different people. He might be Robert De Niro.
Hey, you want me to do Robert De Niro? Is that what you're saying?
Or Al Pacino.
Whoa, what are we doing here? Let's play a game. So it was like each thing. And I'm like, am I supposed to do this? And it was a fun bits. I got it mixed up there with the Seinfeld thing for a second, but you'll see that's what happens to me.
I love the fact that you looked like Robert De Niro.
Oh, yeah, and I heard you guys talking about that on the
That's pretty good.
Well, that's one of those things. All right, so let me explain something with that, because I've been watching you, and, the internet's an amazing thing. With people you never
Yeah.
You knew the voices, or you kind of knew of the voices, but you could never put the face to the voice. And now you can. That's the amazing. When they did that with LaFontaine on one of those evening shows or whatever, and then you could finally put the voice to the face. That was an amazing thing. But I've seen more clips of you, and so on the internet recently, and that's what made me really want to do the show. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And so I don't even remember where we were going with this, but that's going to happen a lot on the WB.
That's right.
So I might, what I do in my own life is I go Morgan Freeman, and that's when they realized Frank Caliendo had no idea what he was talking about. I do remember. It was the faces. And then I go, Robin Williams, and who knew? Just become him. What's going on? It's the serious Robin Williams, the one where you grow a beard and try and win an Academy Award. Look, you're doing it yourself right now. You're focusing, and all of a sudden you're trying to become him. Who knew? And then you become Robert De Niro, and then you're back to Robin Williams. It's not that far off, is it? No, I'm not. And then Pacino's wild and out to nowhere. But you were talking. It was Brad Garrett. You were talking to Brad Garrett.
Sure.
And he was doing the run. Hey, I tell you, you don't know respect.
Yeah.
And he's got those buggable eyes.
Yeah.
And the eyes. So what I always say, and this was a question I was going to ask for you when I eventually let you talk in your own show.
Yeah. No hurry.
Was so when I do these, and I look for the eyes. So the mouth tells you how the person talks. The eyes tell you how the person thinks. So if I was going to do Jeff Goldblum, ooh, yes, of course, I could do this. How does he talk? He talks in the front of his mouth, but with a deeper, a deeper tone. So, but now, how do I sell it? Ooh, yes, I look around. Like what? What do I look around like? Like a painting? Like a painting where? Ooh, in a haunted house. Yes, of course. One is the first number. Two of them together is 11. Why? Why aren't we adding them? 1 + 1 is 2, but not when they're side by side. And you turn them on their side, they're an equal sign. Of course they are. Yes. That's very odd, very weird. Why? My favorite letter. And why? I'll tell you. Because it's what? It's a consonant and a vowel. Yes, A-E-I-O-U, vowels, and sometimes why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is another thing. Like Jeff Goldblum, I do this in my act. He's a tourist and a tour guide at the same time. Like, where are we? I'll tell you, we are on the East Coast. It's the Statue of Liberty. If you ever wondered, is the Statue of Liberty ever been struck by lightning? Ooh, great question. I'll answer that. On my script, let's do a Disney tour ride. Yes, the tour guides, they're the best. Yes, of course. But sometimes they have banter. That's planned out. But when you go off script, just make sure you don't go too far. So, but the thing that sells it, I watched.
I was on the Jungle Cruise there.
That's what I was thinking. So, see, I watched a couple things that you were doing, and when you went, you have this thing that you a lot of the characters, I feel, and I'm not going to say all because I'm sure you go outside, but there's a raspiness that you tend to use in high and low, and it's not quite Pacino, it's not in here, but there's this. Yeah. And it makes you interested.
Pooh's got a rasp, a certain rasp, but he just doesn't have a very deep voice, so you don't. It sounds more like, I always say that it sounds like the wind blowing through cattails.
Okay.
Or something. That's the way I've described.
Wait, can you say something in Pooh's voice? I want to try and hear it. I want to hear what you're talking about.
Well, it's not really a falsetto, but it's not a baritone. And it's oh, bother, I don't know what it is. I'm a bear of very little brain, you see.
You have a good ear. I never really noticed that before.
That voice takes work. That voice, I don't have the. Do you have any honey? It's in there, right?
Oh,
do you have any honey? You have to push. You have to push. Yes, of course.
Yes, and it comes from right about there.
Yeah, there. Yes. Yeah. It's interesting to hear. It's so funny because one of the great things, I did a thing with Muppets one time.
Oh, boy.
And I was talking to a couple of the Muppet actors about they don't want to reveal, like they're worried you're going to take their
Well,
job sometimes.
Well, with you,
Well, I
they're
guess
going to worry
they don't
about
know
you.
me. I would never. I'm not great at animation. I've never been great at animation. I've never wanted. But I'm also the type of person that I wouldn't want to go and. I wouldn't want to piggyback on somebody and then try and steal their thing. I mean, it's just
no.
But
of course not.
you could just feel the worry. I was talking about Sam, the American Eagle. That in there, American. It's in there. It's that Frank Oz
it's
kind
in that Kermit.
Yeah, well, Kermit's up here. I talk about. I've done this on the internet a bunch of times, but for your audience, I think Kermit is hi ho, Kermit the Frog here, and then it's up in there, and from the planet Kuzbane. So you've got up here, Fozzie Bear, Frank Oz is down here. Ah, waka waka waka. It's Bert and Ernie.
Yes.
Oh, Bert, Ernie. So if you take Kermit the Frog, hi ho, Kermit the Frog, and you bring it down, it becomes John C. Reilly. Did you touch my drum set? Yeah, it's Mark Ruffalo. I see this as an absolute win, right? And then you bring it down even more. It becomes Paul Giamatti. I believe that is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Tighten it up and it becomes Jack Nicholson. Of course. So that's the hard thing where you have to, it's, you know how to do all this stuff. It's funny when you talk to people who, and actually let them talk. So Robin Williams theory, if you don't give them a chance, who knew they were even on the show? But so back to my point, and I am quite scattered, going back and forth all the time, and eventually we get to the point.
Yeah.
I was watching you do some of the voices, listening, but watching, and there's an effortlessness. There's a couple of the, it was a Cajun-y type of.
Oh yeah, sure.
And it was just coming off. That's starting me almost getting where your world is in here. That's where the Pooh Bear becomes.
He's in there,
wonderful. Yeah. And Mike becomes Droopy Dog. Oh boy, am I excited.
Oh, here's you have to.
You have to go like this to do Droopy Dog. I never did it, but that's how you do it.
It echoes, right?
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, your turn, guys.
Good night, everybody.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
You remind me of James Arnold Taylor. Go ahead. Have you seen what he does?
Yeah.
He had like a one-man show, and
he references me in it. That's how I found it.
Really?
Yeah, because he said, I'm Frank Caliendo doing John Madden. Yeah. I mean, most people who do the impressions know how to, like, who've done them for a while, know how to pull the changes. What changes in each timbre and cadence? Cadence changes everything. Like
yes.
How many Christopher Walkens have you heard down low, up high, in the middle? It's the same.
Yes.
It's old school. It's William Shatner.
Yeah.
Captain's log up here, younger Shatner down here, it's Denny Crane. So
That's right.
You find those, and people ate like Morgan Freeman. The best Morgan Freeman I've ever heard is Josh Robert Thompson. Do you know him?
I don't know.
It's incredible. And when I was talking to him, I heard him do it in a video game one time, and I found his number and texted him like, "That's incredible." And like it made me stop wanting to do it, but I need it for my act. I mean, yours is so good.
Yeah.
I need to explain my jokes sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was, you find people and they're just, I don't remember where I was going again. That happened again.
That's okay.
Once we get on,
I do that.
Cut, move it on.
Yeah.
Do we edit on the show? It might be the first time if you don't. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. We all over it. Yeah, I've been there. I live there.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. What was I talking about?
People always ask me this. Do you? I'm doing that. I said I wasn't going to do because I get interested. Do you get lost in a character, and do they merge at all, where you find yourself going in and out?
Every now and then, rarely. Okay. I once did Winnie the Pooh, and this is a long, long time ago, but said. I read about 5 or 6 stories as Winnie the Pooh. And whenever it was time to say the character's name, well, that's the point when Shaboozey went to the park to do the... And then I just left a gap. And then I said every name on the planet for a couple of months. And I couldn't... And they wanted me to do 3 in a row. And I said, no. And honestly, if you stacked it up on paper, it'd be about like that, just of names.
Oh,
there are and for some reason, I was in the D's for like a week. The whole world has D is the biggest name in the world. And I went home and I answered the phone at night, just at home. Remember telephones? They were on the wall sometimes. Yeah. Hello? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. God damn, I'm Winnie the Pooh. Okay, yeah, what? And then it just stuck inside of me. And I was just, and oh, bother, I have to take a dump. Pooh doesn't talk like that.
And that's when Pooh Bear realized his name was that for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
I gotta tell you, we got a million of them,
When do you discover that you have this talent? Just mimic.
Oh, I think as a kid, I think that's you do impressions of friends and teachers. I think everybody does that.
Yeah,
you turn them into characters, which is the smart thing. I was listening.
Did you go to Catholic school? By any chance?
No.
Okay. Because nuns are great. They're
what an audience!
Never ending. Oh yeah, they couldn't get enough of me. Shouldn't he? Aren't there pills for this?
And you were doing the heartbeat. I heard you guys talk about that on the podcast. You got slammed doing. Who's doing that?
Yeah.
It's the guy who's going to grow up and be Winnie the Pooh. That's who it is.
Yeah, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Yeah, let him go.
Yeah.
He's learning. He's
That doesn't mean he's not weird.
he's evolving. It's evolution. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I grew up and mimicked people. I loved people like Rich Little growing up. I would watch Rich Little.
Oh yeah.
But I would see him on The Love Boat and The Muppet Show. It was more that, but it was a vaudevillian type of thing at the time. The Impressionist would do just basically a line from a movie, and that's why Impressionists, I think, died out for a while. Is that there was a time where comedy was evolving into storytelling, and the Impressionist was just doing old bits from movies.
Right. Okay.
And there was no point of view. And then, but what I did, and I don't know, for me to try and evolve that in myself, was I loved Robin Williams and I loved Jonathan Winters.
Oh, so did I.
And it was the weaving of the characters when Jonathan Winters was, for everybody who doesn't know, I did something just a little weird today, something most people don't do. It involves a kitty cat, a dog, and a box of Tinker Toys. And I'm not sure if I should be telling you this, but there's a spot of those animals you're not supposed to connect with a toy. But he was like the predecessor to Robin Williams.
Yes, he was.
And Robin took,
and
from
Robin
him.
openly admitted it.
Went right with it. Who knew? Come on, man. And then I made it my son, an older son, and he aged in reverse. Maybe raged too. Sometimes a consonant gets in the way, and it just has to be fixed the right way.
I got to work with Jonathan a few times, yeah. And it was just, I marveled. And Rip Taylor was in there, and Rip Taylor, Jonathan Winters, and it was just, and for some reason I always would, I don't have them here today, but I bring drumsticks to a lot of sessions, and I'd be pounding, annoying people, and Rip said, just hand him one, just give him one and watch what happens. So I did, and he went, Kimosabe, we must go down river, and okay. And that was easy. Wait, hold on, will you hold this? There we go. Oh, that hurts. And that was my Jonathan Winters story.
Yeah, he would take, they would put him on, whether it was Jack Benny, which was the predecessor to Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show, or Jack Parr. I don't remember who it was.
Jack Parr.
They would just did I say Jack Benny?
Well, he was famous too.
Just wrong.
He was some dude.
Right. But they would give him the object and then, like you said, just do 40 different things with it. And they were all characters. All of a sudden he'd be fighting in World War II. And some people said when they worked with him, he was just crazy. And I think he was. He did, have to be go in for some work a couple times. But I always admit people would talk about that and be like, well, it's not bad when you talk to a tree. It's just bad when it talks back. So that's those types of things. But I love those character switching people. and growing up, and Dana Carvey was a huge influence for me, who is more of a cartoonish version, a caricature version of the voices.
Well,
Daryl Hammond, a dead-on impressionist. Like did a couple that he'd blow them out, blow them up into the more cartoonish versions. But a lot of times you're just, oh my gosh, that's dead on. How would you even figure out how to do Bob Costas?
When
You have
Different
those weird
people,
ones that's really like, oh my goodness, that's really interesting that you can do that weird one that nobody would even think of doing, because everybody for a while was doing Jack Nicholson or Christopher Walken,
and John Wayne.
John Wayne, the old school, So, but I like those interesting weird ones when somebody comes up with something you're like, man, that's who would even. And nowadays, then somebody else will watch it and they'll start doing it on the internet now too. So it's like,
well, that's why I love Jeff Goldblum. That was just it's brilliant.
Well, it's a weird. It used to be. A lot of people are doing it now, but that's the thing is there's. But it was one of those that nobody. Maybe a guy named Elon Gold did. Well, maybe the best one I've ever seen because he looks like him to start. But I was doing an okay Jeff Goldblum, and then I saw his. I'm like, geez, that's. He did this thing or like he was just doing conjunctions in a row, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Elon Gold is his name, and he was on that Dana Carvey show, and a great impressionist and a great stand-up comic. But there was a time where people knew me from the John Madden impression. Hey folks, John Madden here, and that was the one.
That's right.
Like I remember Louis Anderson wanted me to do a cartoon one time. I came in, he goes, just do the character as John Madden. It's like, and then he's like, well, it's not going to look like John Madden. And it didn't, the show didn't get picked up, but it was just like,
Hey, can you do the John Madden there? That'd be good.
and just turn it into that. Like they become more caricatures.
Yeah.
And you take the caricature and people don't really know it's an impression anymore. That's the other way. Like I went off track, but before I was saying you took relatives and you said your aunt has been like 40 different people or something like that. Yeah. And that's like, if you can take like a bunch of Simpsons characters are just impressions that are a little bit off.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah. And that's,
I think that's almost like a trick.
Yeah. Because you can already see it. I don't, when I do an impression, and this is what I'd love to hear how you do it. I actually see the person in front of me. I'm disappointed when I see myself on camera because I'm like, oh no, I still look like myself. But when I see in my mind, I see the person that I'm doing, and that's why the face starts to happen. I see him, and it's like I'm looking in a mirror, and they're looking back.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you do that with cartoon characters?
Yeah. I've said it before. First time we were doing the very first time I ever did Winnie the Pooh, and Tigger was on the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh back in the 80s, and Entertainment Tonight came, and they decided that this would be fun to do, behind the scenes. And I was standing there, and when I was Pooh, I would stand there and stick my stomach out, and then when I was Tigger, I would stand there and I would be ready to go, and you could tell who it was with the sound down.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that helps you sell and gets you in, and you can go. People ask me, how do you do like the radio station and how do you flip from person to person? I'm like, well, I kind of morph for each one, and it puts you in a physical space where you can be that, because you can do that, right?
Yeah,
you can go.
It cues you. It's like a cue.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if I could go. Goldblum, yes, of course, to John Madden, the face changes, the body changes, everything goes differently a little bit. And then throwing a Robert Downey Jr., which is basically just burping the second part of sentences.
Yeah. That's so true.
As you find the cadence. And of course, hashtag awesome. My bet on him is he's a human Twitter feed. Everything's like he'd be giving out an Academy Awards, but everything's supposed to be about the nominees, but he turned it back to him. These people deserve your applause almost as much as I do. Hashtag awesome. So once you have that take on the person, you can do more with them. That's always some of my more current impressions are just a voice, and they don't have the the point of view or the fun or I can't do. Do you know Marcellus Pope? She's fantastic, and she calls it. I don't know if I called it this too, but she calls it being fluent in a voice. Sometimes you can just repeat something, like if you're looping. I don't do much of that, but I have friends, and I'm sure you've probably done.
Yeah,
that
I've done some. Yeah,
but it's where you try to voice match somebody for a short thing. That's much easier than trying to have a conversation.
Oh gosh, yeah.
In a character, and when you can do that in a full character and just continue, that becomes its own caricature, but character, and it comes to life as opposed to just kind of putting it out there and trying to be a piece of Scotch tape on something, and it's more it's malleable, and you can create a character. Like becomes its own new character out of it.
Yeah.
Worked with Will Sasso at Mad TV, and his Kenny Rogers became, I'm Kenny Rogers, and this is Jackass. It wasn't even Kenny Rogers anymore, but you were looking forward to hearing the name Kenny Rogers, and then this crazy character. I kind of did that. I did that a lot with John Madden. I actually there was a show on WGN back in the day in Chicago called the Giggle Snort Hotel.
Giggle Snort.
Giggle Snort Hotel.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and there was a character named Blob who was clay. He would come in on like a pedestal kind of thing, and they'd mold him and put different faces on him. But he would go, and that sounded more Schwarzeneggerish. But down with you doing over there? Why are you putting the face on me? But it was more. But that's what I would do with the John Madden. I'd visual this Blob guy going. And when I would go into Madden, would do a little bit of that, but you're looking for the laugh in comedy. I wasn't trying to do dead on impressions. I was trying to come up with something that would make, because I was on stage doing stand up. There you go, boom, and then, so it created this character. It was more fun to listen to. But cartoons, I think, are automatically there. You are in that. Where, like when you, and forgive me for trying to, but I gotta try and do it. Like,
sure, please.
Take it, the wonderful thing. You bounce. There is. It's odd. You ever hear a really good actor try and do voiceover acting? You're like,
yes. And it's hard to look at.
Tough, right? Because they're used to being as real and in the moment, and you go, why isn't this working? Well, it's a totally different art form.
Yeah, boy, it sure is.
Very different.
And we, I did long time ago, the California Raisins. Okay. And I was AC, the lead singer, and the one fellow who will remain nameless because I can't remember his name anyway. He was on there, and during the they would have an interaction. It wasn't all singing, and he would. There was a scene where he was going to be trepidatious, or he was worried about something, and he would sit there and go, and it would be his line. Dorian Harewood. Somebody would say their line, and he would go, "No." And oh God, what time is it? Jesus Christ. Get to the, no, come on, voice acting.
Because you can't use your face.
You can't use your face.
You can't use your face, your body. Yeah. Your body can sell it to yourself. Yeah. But it can't sell it to the audience because they're not going to see you.
Oh, I know. Well, that's what I used to jokingly say. I said, I can't remember what I would jokingly say, but it was.
We're in the same boat, guy.
No, it was like, well, anybody could be an actor if they get to use your face. Anybody can do that. You have to use your voice. Oh, okay, and it's kind of true.
When I first came to Los Angeles, this is around 2000, 2001, I could do these voices and impressions. It was mostly impressions. I remember going into Nickelodeon to meet, because you get those general meetings, and I was new, so it was like people. I didn't have any acting chops, really. I came from stand-up. I'd never done a sketch. I ended up getting on a sketch show without ever being on stage acting, which is I would not suggest doing. I should say take some classes, learn some stuff, figure out what you're doing first before you just get thrust into it. Like when I would first do sketches, they're like, your face is kind of doing it and your voice is, but the rest of your body isn't following. Like, oh, okay. So I had to just, then I overcompensated and became that way. But I first went to LA and I remember getting just a general meeting type of thing, but it was in a studio. Maybe it was an audition. And I had to read the lines, and they're like, okay, but can you do it like you're talking? Can you do it like you're actually talking to somebody and not just reading it? I thought I was doing this great job.
Oh, God, that's just what you wanted to hear?
Oh, it was devastating. And it took me, it was honest and real. And she was 100% correct. And I shouldn't have been there. I shouldn't have been thrust in that position to be, you meet agents, you come to LA and they just assume you're ready to go on stuff. I wasn't. I was so green. I had no idea. I could just do what I did. Yeah. I went in, I was just terrible. And I didn't even know, but I went there leaving and go, I must not be very good. And then I heard some other people like you who are pros, Carlos Alazraqui, who came, and people who were fantastic. I was like, this is just the wrong thing for me. At that time, I've never found my way into it. I just always thought, I'm not even trying to now. It sounds like I'm just doing an audition here with you. I was like, wow, there's people who are so much better at this than me. Maybe I just find my own thing. That was kind of it. But I remember who was I met at Nickelodeon. I remember a guy, Jamie Thomason.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
He's still around.
Super nice.
Yeah, great guy.
At Disney. I don't know if he's still, but he was at Disney.
Yeah, he was involved in the movie that just came out, King of Kings.
Oh, okay.
And he cast that.
Okay.
It finally got out there.
He was, I just remember him,
Yeah, he was a good guy.
It was a very similar kind of thing, but he was softer about it. But it was like, it was a really nice, but I just remember that the whole time. And I even remember his name, which is crazy. Yeah. But it hit me. Oh, you should really, not everybody can go and audition with a tape for Lionel the Lion, right?
Yeah. Lionel the Lion.
Listen, I got beat out by some guy with a tape.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you listen to some podcasts that you do. I got to throw some stuff back that I've heard on the show.
That is some.
I know. I like that you've really listened, because some people come on and they're like, "Oh yeah, I listened to the show," and
well, I tell you why. I'll tell you the key why. Because I didn't want to put you in a position that I've already done once because I didn't listen to enough. But where you have to tell the same story that you already told, and you don't want to feel like you can tell it but if you've told the same story, I feel like there are like people ask you. I find it funny because it's the same kinds of questions people ask me. How did you get into this?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of story.
Yeah,
and
you can't come up with a new answer because
you could lie. I've done that before, but
yeah.
But it's one of those things where you have to know a little bit about the podcast and listen how things go, because every podcast's different.
We've had people come in and they see the cameras and they're like, "This is on camera."
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Sure.
Like, you didn't Google like one clip? Like,
yeah. I think that happens. There's so much out there, but I think it's one of those things where I see your clips more on the internet. I see more stuff on Instagram, and that's honestly that's a big reason why I even wanted to do this. I see, wow, this is a cool chance to do something different with somebody who's. It's so funny. I hate saying this, a legend, because people call me a legend, and I must take offense to it. Apparently, you like it just by your facial expressions that you can't. That's a wonderful thing. Bouncy, bounce. Tell me more. That's a little cage in there.
You have 20 minutes to stop this, and I mean it.
But yeah, I think that's important. You got to know what you're doing a little bit, and it was just interesting to hear. I found fun. Brad Garrett, I learned stuff, especially in the Brad Garrett. I've known Jim Meskimen for quite a while. Yeah. And there was another one. But the Instagram stuff, I saw, was it Alan? Alan Tudyk? No, he's the guy who did
Oppenheimer?
Who's the?
I don't think we've released Oppenheimer yet.
Who's the one? The Warner Brothers. He did a bunch of
What's up, Doc?
and all that.
Not Mel Blanc.
No.
He's been gone for a while.
Oh, the Asian guy. He's Asian, right?
No. That's Eric.
That's Eric Bauza.
Bauza. No, it was another. He's your first one on Instagram. It's just he did. Damn. Somebody look it up. You guys, somebody off camera or somebody on camera. Somebody besides me.
His name's Alan?
It might not be. I don't know.
What do you mean the first one on Instagram?
It's your pinned first Instagram.
Oh.
Boy, I don't even know which one that is.
He got like 12 million views. That was one of the first things that came across on my how many pages? But it was one of those things where I go, oh gosh, and then that's how I actually saw more of you, and then I watched that. Was it Jeff? Yeah, that's it. Alan Jeff Bergman.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Alan.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Jeff Bergman.
Oh, boy.
But a D.
Whatever. Listen, you guys trusted me.
Yeah.
For a couple of seconds.
That was our first mistake.
Yeah, that's a Hakuna Matata. Means no worries. So where are we next? Come on.
It's interesting to me that you say that because clearly, like, the podcast clips that we put out is clearly getting into like the algorithms of performers because more and more performers are coming up and being like, oh, I saw that and saying like what you're saying. And it's curious to me because like, obviously, you know, like there's the voice acting circle, right? And then there's the convention circle, you know, and there's like some bleed over, and then through the convention, you know, that's kind of like how it bleeds out into like the on-camera people and, you know, from networking through that and everything. And so clearly like the clips are like in those people's circles, algorithms, because everybody knows them. And then it makes our job a lot easier because people just want to be on the show as opposed to, you know.
Well, you got some great guys. Sean Astin was another one that I saw.
Sean
That was a
Astin
lot
was
of fun.
great.
And him trying to do Winnie the Pooh. And your reaction is what makes it great. It's like, you know, at first nicely dismissive and then overwhelming support. Basically, Rudy is what it was. It was the clip. But that was one of those clips where I go, oh, this is a fun. Because I came to LA. I live in Phoenix, and I kind of came to LA and I do some different podcasts. I'm like, I want to do something different. I don't want to do the same type of podcast. I want to talk about different things and not do crossover and change clothes each time so it looks like it's a different day. But I wanted to do stuff that was different. And to me, the animation side and the voiceover side here was really something I was never good at, never saw myself as good at. And people always say to me, why don't you do that? And my answer was, like I said before, there's just people that are so good at it.
Oh, I don't know. I think you're right there, man. You can do whatever you want.
Isn't that what Mel Blanc said? What did Mel Blanc say to you? The kid's got it.
Oh, tell the kid he's got it.
Tell the kid he's got it.
Yeah.
I got to do a
That's pretty good.
The decent Mel Blanc.
That's not
End
bad.
it right there because that was my Bugs Bunny isn't. Eric Bauza, who's of Bugs Bunny,
he's pretty good. Yeah,
he's incredible.
Great.
He left me a message. He's eating the carrot, and
What's up, Doc?
and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like I can kind of do it, but then you hear it, and you go,
Yeah.
oh,
sure,
man. And then but that's like you with Winnie the Pooh. I hear it and I go, I've heard so many versions, and there's people who tried it, but then when you hear the actual person do it, there's a nuance, and there's because it's yours, right? It's yours. Whether it became yours or started as yours, it's yours, and you've developed it over time. But you hear it and you go, oh, everything else I hear is a copy of that. And you know how each copy gets a little further away or becomes its own thing. And when I hear you do it, certain words, the R's and like here, there's a different R that I might not hit unless I spent just time. But you do it naturally because it's your guy. It was so funny. I told my daughter, who's 19, that I was coming to do this, and it was so funny because she was just at Disneyland. She's at Arizona State University and having the time of her life. Barely, she goes to school once in a while.
Can't beat that.
But she was at Disney, and I go, I'm going to do this podcast with Jim Cummings, and she didn't know. Come on, she's got to get with it. But she's. I said, he's the voice of Winnie the Pooh, and he's done Tigger, and said, oh, I just bought a shirt with those on there. I'm like, oh, that's amazing that resonates with my 19-year-old daughter, which I haven't even thought about that in years. Like, I told her some of the stuff I was coming out to do, and this was the one she cared the most about.
I'll be darned.
But it's a piece of, that childhood.
Yeah.
And I heard you talking about this, too, with conventions and stuff. The emotion that people have is the coolest thing, And that's why I'm really glad the conventions have come to where they're at, because people used to be afraid to do those.
Yeah.
There was a time where, remember when actors, like super famous actors, wouldn't do commercials? That's gone.
Oh yeah, well that's gone.
That's and they'd have to be in Japan.
I saw Ludacris in like a frickin' it was like a Bridgestone commercial. Like it was like, because he's in Fast and the Furious, I guess that's how they connected it at the end. And I'm walking, like the TV was just on in the background. I'm like, that sounds like Ludacris, but it's like, I look and it's like a Bridgestone. He's like sitting in like an auto shop, like.
If I would have told you,
telling you freaking get your brakes changed here.
Listen, if I would have told you,
how much did they pay him?
In let's say 2005, that Snoop Dogg would be at the Olympics as a host, you'd have been like, nah, nobody's gonna have Snoop Dogg. This guy's the stuff he's talking about in songs is that no way. And he is now an ambassador for which is amazing to even think about. And he's great.
Yeah,
and he's fantastic. But it used to be if you were in a certain genre, people be,
that's it.
They'd be none. But now everything crosses everything. Super famous actors are doing bits online, shtick, so to speak. It's everything. It doesn't matter. TV was a bad thing for actors to do.
The starkest.
I was going to say that used to be taboo. If you were in a movie, and maybe Steve McQueen broke that down.
I think we still have a couple left who are like truly like. You won't see them on TV.
Who?
Leonardo DiCaprio. You will not see him in his life on TV. He will not do even
wait. But he did a streaming movie, didn't he?
What?
Isn't there a streaming movie on with the
Don't Look Up?
And
That's Netflix though. That's a massive studio.
That's still TV.
No, I'm talking about no. That's still a movie. I'm talking like he won't be on an episodic series.
Okay.
He'll never do that.
Watch it in parts.
It could have the appeal of Breaking Bad. I still firmly believe he wouldn't.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
He's I will do movies. I will do movies.
So if there's a Wolf of Wall Street series, I'm not doing it.
I guarantee he wouldn't do it.
5 years ago.
I remember hearing a rumor like last year. They were like, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in the American version of Squid Game. And I was like, there's no way that's true. Yeah. Like, there's no way. Unless Netflix literally like threw the freaking mountain at him. Mountain of cash.
What if it became Leonardo DiCaprio's Netflix? What if that was like when they name a stadium?
That's not.
So they name Netflix. It's DiCaprio's Netflix. I think you're right. I think you're right about episodic. But he's very rare. I mean,
very rare. Yes, very rare.
Like there are
the Tom Cruises,
like a Brad Pitt, a Glenn Close. Like I would put.
Well, Glenn Close has been in HBO stuff, hasn't she?
True. Yeah, she did do that.
So HBO, I'd have to look. HBO does have a pedestal,
right,
where people will. But I think
that's true.
I know there is so much money being thrown at certain people to just because they just want to have that person on their mantle. They want to have that person like we got him, we got her, we got that person to do our show.
For sure, we talk about it all the time, especially like at these conventions. Like these people with money literally treat actors like they're like collectibles.
Yeah,
they literally like it's like a brag of like so and so worked for us. Like we got to hang out with so and so, or we have them on our roster at this show. It's like. They're real life action figures, and it's like a brag to whoever you can get. And sorry to cut you off, but like
it's your show.
It is a natural thing because like I've even find myself doing it like in the context of this podcast. Like we've had so and so and so and so on the podcast, and it elevates the brand, so to speak.
Yeah, but I think that's you're doing that for business purposes, and that's smart. I mean, I think this is a great thing for you in that convention world, just in everything because. People get to see and hear you for who you are. That's why I like doing it. You hear me do the, I go through the song and dance and do the stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you go back and you'll watch it. I have trouble watching myself, but if you go back, well, somebody's got to edit it, right? Somebody's got to take it.
It's not me.
Not you. But one of the things I always do is like hit them up front. Do something. We did a bunch of stuff before we got into stories. I wanted you to have a reason to listen to what I had to say the rest of the time. So I kind of put a mini version of the fireworks ending at the beginning and go, let's do a bunch of stuff. And if people find that interesting, they'll want to hear more from me.
That's right.
As opposed to telling. And that's the entertainer stand-up comic in me going, okay, part A is give you something interesting at the top. why would I go into conversation about me? Your audience, there's probably some crossover, but there's a lot of people who have no idea who I am.
Right.
So I've got to assume there's more people who don't know who I am. So I give them a reason to either choose to listen to more of me or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get into more conversation stuff, which we have, and then go in and out of trying to entertain.
That's smart.
As well.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's like
smart. Yeah, it's a great
those
approach.
pieces of
Makes perfect sense.
but it's and it comes from listening to different podcasts and stuff like that. How do you
see? Yeah, you get it, because a lot of the times, I would say like 95% of the people that we interview on this podcast, they know that they have to do some form of entertainment throughout. You know, it's
right.
we all are on the same page. We
Yeah.
know what people are watching for.
Yeah.
You know, it's not strictly just a conversation. You know, like sometimes there's topics we have to get to. You know, like we had a YouTuber on last week. He keeps trying to push about, you know, voice acting. I'm like, we have to talk about YouTube. Like that's the reason you're here. You know?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
we have to talk about it.
Right.
Like, sure, you want to know a whole bunch about Jim, but like,
But the audience, the audience already knows Jim. It's your show,
right.
So there's a piece of how can we tie what I know with what you know, my piece where I'm from to you. But they've heard some of the stories and they know where you're coming from on a lot of stuff, and they want to hear you. I probably talk too much, but
No, that's great.
It's one of those things where. Well, I don't want to come and interview you on your show because I'm amazed by you. It's not.
Me,
the audience already knows you.
Yeah.
My audience might be, but my audience has already heard me. I'm doing more. Hopefully, I bring some people here to you.
right, and that's the whole goal, is to get the crossover.
Right. That the collab, as they call it. But I don't want to come on your show and have you regurgitate the same 7 stories you've and there might be some if it's natural and it ends up happening.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
But no, it should be about me bringing something to your audience, and then where's the goal?
I have an even more simplistic view. I honestly think, and I say it all the time, I say it all the time, if it's an entertaining conversation in person, it's going to have entertainment value
Well,
online.
I always tell people in comedy, in podcasts in general, you don't have to be funny.
No.
You have to be interesting. What's interesting? A lot of interesting just is funny. When you try to be funny, sometimes it can backfire. But interesting is constantly making people want to listen. Interesting is way more important than funny.
Absolutely.
Funny will happen during interesting, probably.
That's
on
right.
accidental funny. I worked on the NFL on Fox for years, and you don't have to know football to know about this. But
Doing what?
I did. Thanks for you doing your research. I did character. I would do.
You were everybody.
I would do impressions. And I would do stuff about football. Say there were bits about football. I did it for 10 years.
Whoa.
So that's 10 years I know you didn't watch football.
I did, though. That's why I'm sitting here like, what in the world?
Yeah, well, I work
don't
with
know?
Terry Bradshaw.
Your
okay?
Fran Tarkenton is astonishing. Just knocks me out.
Every week, Terry Bradshaw, not funny, Frank, not funny. I have to show funny stuff, Frank, funny stuff. Like, why can't you say that while I'm on TV? Well, Howie hasn't explained the joke to me at that point. So, but the thing was that I was taped. My bit was taped. It was probably a 2.5 to 3 minute bit every week for 10 years that you missed.
Yeah.
And I don't really care, but I think it's funny. But being on tape and trying to be funny is not the same as them. Whenever something would go wrong, that's what was really funny. Terry, it's the same with the NBA on TNT. Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley and Shaq.
Don't be a knucklehead. That's a crazy, crazy thing. A lot of guys are sure you don't even know what's going on here.
And the fact that Charles would say something and it's really goofy, and then everybody looks at him. It's the accidental funny when something goes wrong.
Those
best show
two
on
and
TV.
Kenny and Ernie, like they are literally the best commentators of all time.
It's a great TV show.
Yeah, it's a great TV show.
There may not be a better comedic TV because it's all real.
I watch them more than I watch basketball.
Well, people do. I think people do watch. It's one of the rare times people watch that more.
Yeah.
My joke with Charles Barkley is my bit about him is he's so authentic. And the reason that I like him is that authenticity. Because a lot of people
And he doesn't give a damn.
Nope, and that's what's great. And in this clickbait world, he's not giving you clickbait. He's giving you what he believes.
Yeah.
And I go back. There's a player on the I talk about this in my act, but there's a player on the Golden State Warriors named Draymond Green. Now, he's one of those guys, if he's on your team, like he's our guy, he's our protector, he's our enforcer. If he's on the other team, you're like, that guy might be cheating. But Charles Barkley goes on, he's like, I want to punch Draymond Green in the face. Yeah. And he's not going to really do it. But we all talk like that. It's a normal thing. So the media gets on him about that's violent and stuff. It's like, no, it's a normal thing. So he had the brilliance of he's not the type of person to apologize. He's not going to grab a piece of paper and go, I apologize for the following reasons my lawyer says I should be sorry. Right. It's not. It's going to go off the rails like that. Yeah. But what he did was brilliant. He looked directly in the camera a couple weeks later after it was just snowballing, goes, I apologize for recognizing Draymond Green has such a punchable face. And it wasn't perfect. It was, and everybody heard the word apology, and then the media was over it. Well, that means you didn't even really care in the first place. That's right. But that's just Charles, and he's one of the greatest, nicest. When I first met, he's like, Frank, you got to keep doing it. I'm like, what? Got to keep doing that impression of me? Like, why is it? Because every time you do it, I end up making more money. He's like, wow. And he's like, I don't even understand why. People here doing it on the radio. Next thing you know, I get a new commercial for Taco Bell or Weight Watchers, which came out after Taco Bell. So it was like, it was great, and it's fun. And now a lot of people are doing it, Charles Barkley. But it's one of those where he really liked me and got it and had fun. John Madden didn't like me at all. Like,
really?
Yeah, with the years.
Well, he probably takes himself rather serious.
He did. Yeah. And that was the thing. And I finally met him and made his grandkids laugh. And it was like a light bulb. I get it now. It was one of those moments that he finally turned around, and that you can make somebody's grandkids laugh. Yeah. And the moment, the kids were scared to death to try and laugh, and you could see Mad look over, don't do it. Yeah. Oh, God. And then they cracked up, and then I took pictures of that. But people don't, a lot of people, they don't know how to take it. I always try to come from an impression with, what do I like about this person? Even if I don't like the person or they bother me, that's what probably makes them famous. Is there probably something about the person that is memorable, and people have all different takes on what that is. Do I love this person? Do I hate this person? Well, why? Well, it's just something that strikes you and gives you an emotional response.
It's interesting that you have a scientific approach.
Well, I think
sort of.
I think it's science without any of the numbers. That's it's the. But I think there is to that, because what do you find that makes the character interesting? What's the difference between somebody that sounds exactly like a person and you're not sitting there laughing? I've heard people who are way better with impressions and voices than me, and you go, okay, but what? Why am I listening to this? Why
they don't have the comedic timing?
What's the bit? What's the joke? Why am I interested? Okay, you can nail this, but after 4 seconds, I'm kind of going, I don't know. Now the same thing will bother other people. I'll turn a character and make it over the top, make it cartoonish. And then people are like, it's not very close. Like the internet, social media really likes you to sound exactly like the person. Yeah. Because it's up close. It's in that small little screen. And the Dana Carvey impression, which I think are the most entertaining in the world, they're not as much fun on that little rectangle on your phone as they are watching a person live. Watching a person live, if you did it in that small space, a smaller impression, you're kind of going, you got the voice, but what are you doing with it? But Dana would, not gonna do all the big over the top stuff he's known for. And not that he's not great on the internet, but it's just, that's what makes him so great to watch on a full screen.
Yeah. There's a guy out there who does perfect sounding voices.
Right.
And he does like 5 or 6 of mine, which I'm just crazy about. And he's just boring.
Right.
And you hear it and you go, oh, well, that sounds just like it. Sounds just, wow, was he reading a cookbook? Right.
It doesn't have the emotional attachment. It doesn't have the emotion to it, and it's a carbon copy, so it's removed. Yeah. I mean, even when somebody takes over a voice for somebody else, if you're the next Kermit the Frog, if you're eventually the next, you have to embody. They're looking for who gets an emotional response when I hear this voice. It can't be just a sound. The sound-alike person can be used for the quick looping kind of thing. Yeah. But in terms of trying to stay engaging, that's a difficult. I think that's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what's at the heart of how long it's going to take AI to find that magic sweet spot, if it's ever even capable
I
of
think
that.
that's a tough. I've heard, people have called me. They have a Morgan Freeman read for a project or something that they're gonna not to air because Morgan Freeman will sue you and he should. I mean, you're not.
Yeah.
That's the thing about when somebody asks me to do Morgan Freeman, I go, well, they're like, will you do it? I'm like, well. No. And then they keep raising the money and money. I go, well, here's the thing. Here's why the money doesn't matter. You eventually get sued because you're not trying to sell it with this cool voice. You're trying to sell it because people think it's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a cool voice and thinking it's Morgan Freeman.
Right.
And when people hear that truth of the matter is that kind of thing, they think it's Morgan Freeman. And now you're selling, it might as well be your visual, you get in your imagination, you see Morgan Freeman. You don't just hear this cool voice. You imagine Morgan Freeman, not a vague person.
Right.
And that's when it's as important as the person's likeness. So he has a voice footprint that literally is as good as seeing him. And there's very few people like that.
That's right.
But you can hear when people are close, but they're not quite close enough. You're going, that kind of sounds like a Morgan Freeman. Like they do that all the time, looking for a Morgan Freeman-ish. But as soon as it gets too close, you're like, they're trying to sell that's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, that's true. Christopher Walken's another one.
Yeah, right.
Everybody just gloms onto him.
Well, he was the Jack Nicholson, then it was maybe Shatter first.
Probably.
The high shatter, then the low shatter. And then Christopher Walken, it's in ignoring punctuation, right?
Yes.
He said that himself. But you've heard you've heard high, you've heard low, he's in the middle. They're all right there. But it's the cadence of the person. I do counting with people. So the Robert Downey Jr.'s 1, 2, burp, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's his cadence. Jeff Goldblum is 1, 1 what? Ooh, I'll tell you. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Or Liam Neeson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And you can do Liam at a couple just so that's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's more of a Liam Neeson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Can you do George Bush?
Of course I can, man.
Yeah.
I was the guy for a while,
He was.
Thinkificating, man. You can put if-I or it-cate onto anything, and that's a Bushism. I got to thinkify. I got to brainificate. That's the president's. That's a key. That's a key with impressions because
That's wonderful.
I feel like that's where you have to start, right? Like,
because everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Like if you were to do some actors, very few actors is everybody going to know because now cartoons maybe because everybody goes through they're growing up, they come through that now. That's that cartoons, but I never loved the cartoons as much because I do like doing the faces and trying to become the person. It's a different thing with a cartoon to me. Not a worse, not better. Just it is a different. It's in a different realm.
Different critter.
But in terms of people knowing everybody, but I do all the different presidents, but I do them without being political because just for me, I try to stay away. I will make fun of them. But I will do it in a way that people. I remember being in Texas in the '90s doing George W. Bush, and people come after me after show, man. You must love George W. Bush. You do it so well. And then the other people after the show would say, you must really dislike him because you do it so well with animosity, animositification. And Obama is another president. Obama was another talk slow at the beginning. And speed up at the end, right? And then Donald Trump, quite frankly, a lot of people do the louder Trump, and I do the very quiet one, the library Trump, the one where you go into a library and there's tremendous books. Some of the greatest. They have books and they're filled with words, tremendous words, some of the best words, and you put the words together. And when you put the words together, now with Trump, like the look, my joke is it's like he's looking into an aquarium and mimicking the fish, and it's this. Come here, Nemo. And he would just rip Nemo. Nemo, you're a clownfish.
That's all you're ever going to be, a clownfish. Where's Dory? Can never find Dory. We're always trying to find Dory. And Dory, where's Dory? Where's Dory? Dory's over there behind the anemone. And if you're not my friend, you're my anemone.
So his is the fish tank look, and he's always like trying to find the picture.
Look, we got a great shot. Pablo Picasso, he cubist. And you couldn't go to the cubist. You can't be a cubist.
And then Joe Biden, my joke with him.
Oh, God.
I've talked so much today. My joke with Joe Biden is I've never seen another person listen with his eyes. They'll be like, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Folks, come on. That young man, and everything goes back to Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That young man grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, 600 AD. The fall of the Roman Empire, the Romans, led by the salad guy, Caesar salad, and his General Crouton, and they were defeated. They were defeated by Mario and Luigi. They were plumbers. Folks, come on. I'm not joking around here.
Yeah, come on.
Folks.
And that's a lot of people. You look for,
but see, the voice,
Biden.
the voice on the Biden is a little more cartoonish, but it's hard to do somebody who's. I was gonna say it passed away 30 years ago. No, but it was gonna be too political. Isn't it funny we have a president who's 80 years old and he seems young compared to the last one?
Yeah.
I'm 80 years old, and I'm a spry 80.
You walk up those stairs.
Maybe later.
Yeah.
Joe Biden could. No, Joe Biden could walk. It would take him a while.
It doesn't take me.
Walk up him.
I can't do it right now.
But see, I was always like that.
Well, he could fall upstairs.
I could fall. Hey, Joe Biden or me, and we could both fall up the stairs.
Joe Biden fell upstairs.
Fell up the stairs. Folks, when you're going up the stairs, you're going up, go down, you look all around. I was trying to think.
That's sublime.
But it's just, I stay, and sometimes people will come up to me afterward and be like, you get so political. I'm like, every once in a while, because I'm like, it's not political.
It's not political.
I make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you, if you're listening to me and you think I'm telling you who to vote for, you got the wrong. I live a different life than most people.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want you to listen to me. But I mean, do whatever you want. But that's not my thing. And I try to, people always ask me, do you vote for this person so you can do the impression? I'm like, no. Sometimes. No, but it's like, no, but I try to, that's why I try not to watch too much.
Right.
I figure the world's going to go on without me anyways, which is probably a terrible thing, the way to think about it. But I'm like, if I'm voting based on my act, that's kind of a problem. But I'm also a middle of the road kind of person.
Yeah.
Grew up in the Midwest. I don't like to.
Let's hear your Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, he doesn't do it. You can talk about Nancy. She's in the fish tank, and she's not even a fish.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Everybody knows it.
That's and everybody knows. That's my Trump line.
And everybody knows it. There's a colony of people on Mars, and 100% of them voted for me. And everybody knows it.
And everybody knows it.
But yeah, it's the presidents are a good base, so everybody, and that's why I do them up front in my act, because people think I'm a sports guy. They think of me and they think all sports, except for people who didn't watch the NFL on Fox for 10 years.
Yeah,
and
what was that on? The NFL on Fox?
I think it's about
They
the
had
NFL.
the freaking robot. I watched the damn NFL on Fox.
It's on the NFL. It's about the NFL. It's Fox NFL Sunday. It's about the NFL. It's on Fox. Can't remember the day it's on.
Yeah, right.
So, but people think that's what my act is. And I'm like, no. My act, it goes in and out. But what I do is just like I did, with this podcast, but in a different structure. I do the impressions that everybody's going to know up top. Mm-hmm. And so I get everybody involved. Everybody knows. Now I'll go hit a sports person here and there in between. And I never talk about shouldn't say never. I rarely talk about actual sports events. I talk about the people in the sports because you're going to know that, and if they're in commercials, probably a better chance you've seen them outside of sports. I mean, John Madden did Ace is a Place.
Yes, that's
for
right.
How hardware person. And then his partner was doing True Value, which was funny. True Value. Tell him Pat Summerall sent you. So it's funny they're doing opposing hardware commercials.
Oh, God. That's so true.
But there's, John Gruden is a guy who I talk about a lot. I'm friends with him, man. Little spider too, why banana, and that's it's one of those kind of voices. And I got to do the eyes, man. They call him Chucky. Well, they call me Chucky. You figure it out on your own, man. But that's the people think the whole show's gonna be about sports. I'm like, no. I hit on some of the sports people, but I actually I grew up watching sports and stuff like that. But the famous actors and people always ask me if I do any female voices. Not really. I mean, I've got some friends who do some great. Terry Fader. He can sing the ventriloquist. He can sing like so. Oh my gosh. I'm amazed by things that people can do that I can't. And I go, wow, that's not that I'm like this amazing person, but I just go, gosh, how do you do that? Like I'm the audience in that moment.
Oh, sure.
Oh man, that's incredible.
Yeah, me too. Man. Well, I have a thing too, and I don't know if you've ever done this. Have you ever done lots of animation, some animation?
No, just very little bit. I mean, I've done I kind of talked myself out of it. I just was so bad at the start where I was just kind of scared to
When was that? I can't imagine that.
I don't know, but this is just me being me. It's a difference me being me versus me. I'm better now. I get, they send me some auditions and stuff like that. And every once in a while I've gotten some things, but it's not really on my radar. I just, I feel like there's people who are so good at it.
Your shtick, yeah.
And then, but that's the other reason I shouldn't say, even with acting in general, that's the reason I'm out there doing a bunch of podcasts now, and podcasts that I like, not just any podcast.
Yeah.
But is to get out there and be seen again, because I've kind of been in hiding for 8 to 10 years. I just went away, and I shouldn't say went away. I just wasn't doing as much on TV or I was just. I had kids and growing up, and I live in Phoenix, so it just became I missed some things when they were younger, and just traveling. You see me sweating? Can you see that? You see it? It was getting a little warm in here, a little toasty.
Well, you got a hoodie on.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm trying to change. It was a dumb move, but I didn't want to just wear the black T-shirt, which was where I was at.
I got to ask you about your thoughts on the Austin comedy scene, spearheaded by Joe Rogan out there.
I think that's great. Oh, that air is tremendous.
Quite frankly, probably the best air conditioning. And a lot of people are saying that the heat is the way to go. Heat miser. You're talking about him. You're talking about the cold miser the other day. Maybe you didn't talk. Paul Frees. He did a great job. Was that Paul Frees? Was that Paul Frees? I'm not even sure anymore. Or was that?
No, that was that Burgermeister Meisterburger. No toys and Boris Badenov. A yo-yo for me.
Yes.
What was the question? I
just want to know your thoughts on the Austin comedy scene, because it seems like from the outside looking in that you kind of like have to play like into their little clique to like.
But what's wrong with that? I mean, it is what it is. I think that's great. I mean, it's people. That exists everywhere in everything. There isn't a case where. I think Joe Rogan is very welcoming to people he believes are hardworking comics. That's, I think, a main thing for him, which I think is great. And if I were to get myself to working harder on the stand-up, I would probably try it. But I just feel like, for me personally, I would love to be on a show like that, but I just feel I don't know if I want to feel like I belong there too. But I think it's great. I mean, the people that are doing all that, they're doing great.
I just watched this really interesting video on YouTube. It was on the Elephant Graveyard is the channel if you guys want to watch it. It was about Joe Rogan. It's a 2-part series, but it's like an hour long, deep dive, and it's like so fascinating what he was pointing out, and like how all these comedians are like falling in line essentially to like, kind of get this like stamp of approval from Joe Rogan. And then, you don't really, you don't blow up until you really get that stamp of approval.
Well, it's like the Tonight Show used to be.
Absolutely.
The Tonight Show used to be that. I think
Absolutely.
it's very, Jamie, pull that up. Oh my God, that's effing nuts. Jamie, that's crazy. That's in that. John C. Reilly, Jamie, and then Rogan's in it. Jamie, pull that up. But
a big point being made was that it's like kind of toxic, and it's kind of like promoting people that aren't really that funny.
I don't know. I think it's different. You think people are funny that...
You think Tony Hinchcliffe is funny?
I don't know. I mean, is it my style of comedy? I don't watch enough. I don't watch many comedians, though. And that's not me trying to get out of there. I don't watch a lot of comedians. Why? Because I don't want to know what they're doing. I don't want to know what... I'm not an agitational type of guy either.
Yeah.
A lot of... I was talking to Jay Moore earlier, and Jay's done a complete 180 on his life. Yeah. Jay was a guy who, he flat out said, I used to be a dick. He was like, now he does daily affirmations since he's changed. He's not on drugs anymore. He's doing a lot better for himself. So, but he could go and agitate people to get comedy out of them. I never wanted to do that. Tom Green, when he was on, he would go and bother people, bother his parents. That's a lot of what YouTube is, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I would consider you very presentational. And it's probably considered, like me, more of an old school way of doing comedy of, hey, I'm just going to do the comedy. I'm not going to try and push your buttons to do the comedy. I'm going to have fun and hope you have fun. Come on the ride with me, as opposed to boom, punch, punch, punch. Yeah. But that's not what gets clicks in this world.
Yeah, it's not.
The clicks in this world are, how can I make people angry? How can I make half the people love me?
That's my thing with Tony Hinchcliffe on To Kill Tony. It's like they're bullying half the people, like more than half.
But if you go there wanting to be bullied, that's on you.
But like, come on. Come on. If you want to be bullied, no.
You don't think, okay, so if you're going on there, you are either delusional. Yeah. If you don't think,
or you just like you're playing the game, like you're
okay.
You got to play the game.
But you decided to.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, you made a conscious decision to go. It's American Idol when it first started.
True.
So it's the same thing. I could not watch the original American Idol. I thought it was mean.
Yeah.
And I'm just dumb because that's what people wanted. So if people want that, that's where we're all human. So you have to remember, not everybody thinks the same way as you. And is society getting meaner? I don't know. He does a whole bit, Patrick, who came with me, about, can I paraphrase this here for you? It's your thing, is why. But he does a thing as society isn't getting, what's the word you use?
Evolving, or it's just not, there is no changing.
He doesn't remember his bit.
I don't remember the joke.
It's a brilliant bit that he doesn't remember.
There's no what? The world got violent.
The world got violent. Okay, so the world got violent. Patrick Keane. The world never got violent. If you read the Bible, Cain killed Abel.
Yeah.
Cain killed Abel. That means, and then he goes through all the percentages of if you were on Earth, you had a 66 2/3% chance of getting killed at that point. It's a brilliant like people. We thought we were evolving to a point where everything was happening. People just hid probably more stuff. Is it good for it to be out? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've watched Ghostbusters 2, and that seems to be the premise of that too. Yeah. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but it's sometimes in front of you. But the difficult, All in the Family was not supposed to be Archie Bunker was not supposed to be lovable over there, huh? He was not, but people loved him because they knew somebody like him they were him. And we all have that. I have a take that it's not, I would say, conventional. Everybody grows up in a different way. If you're a bad person, somebody probably helped make you bad. There's a reason you probably got to that way. If you're racist, if you're this, you're that. We're all tribal in some way. That's why groups of people would attack other groups of people who didn't look like them. The only way you know is somebody looked different.
That's right.
That's happened forever.
It's just the way of the world.
It's been that way. It's the way of the wild. Hakuna Matata. But
that's right.
I mean, there is a reality of that. So is it? Yes, it's not. I see a lot of people doing Kill Tony now that I would never have guessed would have been up. But it's so big that people do it. And why do they do it? Because it gets them seen in front of people. And maybe they have a piece that wants to do it. I tend to be the type of person who, if it's not for me, I don't like to do it. I don't want to do it if I don't fit in. I've done too many of those things where I try to do something that's not me. I don't feel right. But also, you don't see me around as much. So you got to make your choices. And you can make your choices. You can make somebody could have told Nate Bargatze he's got to be, or I think he pronounces it Bargatze, but Nate Bargatze is, you got to have some more edgier. You got to be edgier. Well, no. He wasn't, and super clean. And now he's the number one or, up there grossing comedian because he's interesting and doing his own thing. But people want to know more about him. And he's just got a style all his own. He didn't do that. He didn't do any of those. And it can happen. It's just hard. I mean, it's just people break out. You need to use the internet, but other people need to use you on the internet. That's a thing I had a tough time understanding. When people would steal your clips and put your clips somewhere, well, if you listen to somebody like Mr. Beast, they're like, well, that's the greatest thing that can happen to you. Like when somebody takes your clips and gets likes and replays and stuff like that with or plays, whatever, numbers out of your clips, that's them just promoting you. Yeah. Now, the hard thing is when it's voiceover.
Yeah.
So I did like Morgan Freeman talking about Grandma Sandy, who did the Mentos and the Coke thing.
This is Grandma Sandy. She's a TikToker.
Right. And I did that. It got put everywhere. Nobody knew it was me. Everybody. Now that's the tough thing is you do a voiceover and it's a voiceover of somebody else.
Yeah.
But now they think it's actually Morgan Freeman or that, they don't know who it is. And you get zero credit for it. At least when your face is on there. Yeah. Like you with the Winnie the Pooh and your grandson, that it's face, voice, moment. It doesn't matter if they're stealing it from you. They see you. That you might not get the exact, but your face is somewhere associated. Somehow that's going to tie back to you rather than if it just came. And sometimes it's better if it came from somebody else's account. If somebody puts something, I've had that happen with my John Gruden stuff. People put it up all the time to the point where I've started putting my own John Gruden stuff up because I'm like, well, that just got 5 million views. Wow. Yeah. And I've never used it.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've reposted
you
things.
You repost things because you see other people and it actually gives you a reason to try it on your own. And then what's the worst is when somebody else gets it and you put it out there and you get nothing. And you're like, Gary Vee was wrong.
Yeah, that's
Gary Vee.
But it's I do see that. I see that, but it's like Pat McAfee was another one who's a big sports guy and a former punter in the NFL, but massive sports guy. He's like, it's just let everybody steal everything, because it helps you eventually. And it's hard to get over that mindset because we come up thinking, well, this is the thing I do.
And they're making money off of it.
Right.
Okay, they're making money off stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
There were literally...
That's what's galling.
Millions and millions of people listening to watching that Grandma Sandy thing when it first came out. Like that was around COVID time. And it was just massive, but nobody knew. I didn't even know it was huge. I put it on TikTok. I think it didn't do that well. Maybe 100,000 views or something. Meanwhile, on Facebook, it's got 20 million views by one person, and they're actually monetizing it. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Yeah, a buddy of mine, Danny Serafin, he's a drummer from Chicago, the band Chicago, and he started his own group. And he called it CTA, which used to be Chicago Transit Authority, and the very first one. What's that?
My grandpa designed the substations.
No kidding.
For the CTA.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, not on that band.
And he played drums?
Sorry. Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry.
But it was weird because there was a tribute band. Remember, there were a lot of tribute bands out there for a while. And it was really galling because he was getting his band off the road, and it was a sextet, quintet. And the Chicago Tribute Band was getting booked and pulling some coin.
Yeah, they get some.
Ahead of him.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute. There's people out there doing an impression of me.
Right.
Making better money than me.
Right.
Okay, now that's bad.
That's because Peter Cetera wasn't in doing the Chicago. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I understand what you're saying. 100%.
Yeah.
My brother actually does that. He does the Who. He's got a Who band.
Oh,
but
really?
You obviously know.
Yeah.
It's not them, but it's kind of fun. But my brother does the Scream and all that stuff. And I didn't even know about this. Yeah. I just found, that's, wow. I felt like CSI Miami just started.
Yeah.
Frank, looks like this dog just got its tail wagged. But yeah, there's God, that was so easy for you. That was really, and you didn't even know you did. You just threw it out there.
Good old Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have to spin the microphone.
Right?
Threw it through the air. Oh man. Jesus. Are you a musician too?
No, my mom was a piano teacher, and that's probably why. I wish I had learned music.
Now, see,
more.
that would have been piano's a good one.
The difficult thing for me I always wanted to do comedy, not music. And as you get older, you realize they intertwine a lot more than you realize as younger. That's the same thing. Animation. I just wanted to be funny and do that. My goal was to be a guest on a talk show. Because I love Jonathan Winters and Robin Williams. I'm not thinking about the other things they did.
Professional guest on a
That's
talk.
all I wanted to be.
That's a tough gig.
When I was on Leno, and I'm like, I've done what I wanted to do. I was on Letterman as a guest. You know, I wasn't not even stand up. I was just on. That was like, okay, I've done what I wanted to do. That's part of my quote unquote problem is. But the thing is, and the agents always get mad at me. They're like, well, do this, try and do this, try and do that. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't have a passion. And if I don't have a passion for it,
Boy,
I don't feel
agree.
like there's so many people who do have a passion. I feel like I'm taking a spot or I don't think I'd get it over the people with the passion. But it's almost like, if they have a passion, I don't feel like I belong. And maybe I just need to rewire some. But music, I wish I had learned to do. I could sing a little more. I do some of the impressions I do with singing.
Why do I see you as a great Wayne Newton?
a bunch of instruments.
Donald Trump playing the trumpet and the clarinet, both sides, just like that guy you talked about the other day. He can play out of wood.
What was it?
Playing out of both sides of your mouth.
Yeah. What was it?
That's all politicians. That's all they do. But we do it with instruments. Tremendous instrument.
What was that? I'm trying to think of. I did a sketch with Trump years ago. This was before he ran for president. It was at Trump Tower. I was dressed as him.
Oh my gosh.
And we go into Trump Tower and after the sketch and we're walking around. He's like, do you have a second? I'm like, sure. He goes, come with me. It would sound like Willy Wonka. Come with me, USA, a land of pure Trumpanation. And then we went in the Trump-evator, which is like a Wonka-vator, but it goes in a circle and flips back. But I wish I'd learned to read notes. I'm kind of an ADHD if you hadn't figured that out.
Yeah.
But I would never sit down and learn. I learned to play ragtime. I loved Scott Joplin. I don't know what is entertainer, but Maple Leaf Rag. Which, by the way, you mentioned Dorian Harewood earlier. He played Scott Joplin in something, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. That. Maybe he didn't.
Well, maybe
I told you.
I'm a liar.
But that wasn't me. Don't put that in my mouth. Okay.
Folks, come on. The show ended 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. Hakuna Potato.
Well, you have a Bill Clinton too, right?
Yes, of course I do. I could throw that out there. Next up, FDR.
No, yeah, the Clinton. I met Clinton years ago.
Yeah.
But Jillian Barbary, who was at Fox at the time too, he was shaking her hand a lot longer than mine. So I was like, all the rumors are true with this guy.
He was trying to get her to shake.
Yeah. So I was supposed to meet George W. Bush at the Super Bowl years ago. It was Dallas, and I was in Jerry Jones's box. And I got up there.
It sounds
creepy.
Yeah.
And
I have been. He been there, and I've been thinking about it. Which, by the way, is I just went Goldblum. I went higher. Found out that's there. But Jerry, I have been is that's where. Matthew McConaughey is right in there as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Older is Jerry.
But I was up there in Jerry Jones. I got past the Secret Service and everything. Jamie Foxx was there wearing sunglasses inside. I still don't understand that. But it was the Super Bowl where the Steelers were playing the Packers, and Jerry Jones was sitting between George W. Bush and John Madden. And I was supposed to go up there and go and talk to the two guys. I mean, what do you think? I think it's a pretty good game. Yeah, they're blowing them out right now. I think so. But the game got close again, and Jerry sat back down. Now, Laura Bush came up to me and goes, the president, she called him the president too, which was very funny to me. The president and I just saw you on the TV this morning. I'm like, I didn't say it, but I was like, can we go talk? And, get in there. I could be on the Super Bowl doing my 2 biggest impressions at the time. And it didn't end up happening. But it was one of those moments where like, so close.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to like develop an impression?
Well, it's all different. And I think there are stages. There are stages. You try to find a way to get your own voice out of one, right? The first thing is to try, how do I get my Frank Caliendo voice out of this? Because when people say you don't do a very good impression, what they do is they probably can hear your own voice in the impression. Now, we all hear different things. I liken impressions and characters, whatever, to magic tricks. People say, what do you mean? I go, well, you think I'm a sorcerer. What's the difference? Well, a magic trick is something you work on over and over and over to produce an outcome with a sleight of hand. And sorcery does not exist. So that's why I can't do it. So I work on something to get it to a point where I get my voice out of it and get it to that. Now, people hear different pitches, though. So you ever do those things? I'm 51 now, I believe. I lost track a while ago. But I can't hear certain pitches. That gets too high. You can't hear it anymore.
Right.
So people, when you do the magic trick, a younger person might not hear the same thing that somebody else hears because you're not reproducing the person's exact voice.
Right.
Now, with a cartoon, I think it's a little closer because when it's a cartoon, it's usually somebody else's character. What's the difference? Well, that's like saying I do Forrest Gump and you're saying it's a Tom Hanks impression. No, it's Forrest. You're doing him doing something, which is easier. You can reverse engineer that to the person's voice, but you're doing a magic trick to try and get somebody's voice.
That makes sense.
So what was the original question? Because I deviated like I always tend to do.
No, I mean, that pretty much answered it. I was just asking like how long it takes you when you hear a voice.
So that's stage 1 is try to get that voice out of there. Stage 2 is what can I do with it to create and say more? I do that thing online, the Morgan Freeman. I think almost anybody, especially a voice actor, can do a Morgan Freeman. It would take time because the register that you have to get to is very deep. So what do you have to do? You have to be very quiet first. So you have to bring it down, and you have to bring it down here in front, not in the back, right? So you're down front. Now, if you're just going to go very deep, yes, I say a couple words, yes, not Morgan Freeman, but yes, yes, and then you work to build that muscle in your throat. Yes. Now you play with it a little bit. Yes. Now you add phrase. Fact of the matter is. Truth of the matter is, we are just playing notes in this world we call the language. And it really is. Yeah. It's how do you find that sound first, and now how do you apply it over time?
There's a rhythm to it too.
Yes. It is music.
Yeah,
it's doing an impression, doing a character.
Yeah.
It's all music.
Yeah, I liken it to that.
You might not know the notes or read the notes, but you know how to play the rhythm, the cadence. Speech pattern is another word. But you could have, like I said, with those tones, you could have the high walk and the low walk, but you know where the words cut off. And each person or character has their own personal dialect. And when you find that dialect, which when you think of a dialect, you think, or an accent. You ever hear people do that? They call like voices accents, like you're doing the poo accent. I'm like, no, that's a full-on character.
And they'll say, an odd one that it just bugs me is, can you do your impression of Winnie the Pooh? And I go, no, I don't. I am Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, damn your eyes. It's just
you're basically, I am the one who knocks.
Yeah,
I am the one who steals honey.
What do you do?
So it's that's the amazing thing is when you are the person. It's to do the impression. Yeah. And it's a weird thing where it shouldn't drive you crazy, but I think it's because you hear it often enough. Where you're like, there's a piece of your identity that becomes it. And there's a piece of you that goes, I don't want to only be that. But then when they see you as that, you're like, Yeah, you don't know. It's like in between. It's always grass is always greener either side.
On both sides. Yeah. Yeah. What's the first thing that you do? Is it the cadence? Or is
I think
it
cadence is the most. I probably figure out physical stuff. I
Yeah.
probably figure out where that face, how like I
like
talked
your
about.
Trump is astonishing.
It's different
because it's measured.
Quiet. It's very quiet, and a lot of people.
He doesn't talk. I mean, he's like you said, he's almost 80 now, or he is 80, somewhere around there. It's different. A lot of people do the big. I can't think of his name, but James Austin on Saturday Night Live. They do that big wind up Trump, and that's just not. People still remember that, but
It's a lot of this, a lot of this.
Yeah.
And we're doing very quiet, very quiet.
Yeah. And you have to know what to repeat.
yes, yeah. But it's just a different.
the rhythm
and he's
there.
my Trump when I did Trump with Trump back. It was very different. I remember talking to the producer. I'm like, should I do it? Because when I got there with him, I could do it better. I was better at it. And like, no, do it the way you do it. It's funnier. I was like, okay. And now I wish I hadn't listened to him and just done it like, because the voice is off, but it was my version. And it wasn't this version. This quiet version is just something that's evolved over time. And I wanted to do, if I do an impression that somebody else does, I want to do a different version than what they're doing.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Dana Carvey's probably the most stolen from person ever during the 80s, 90s with impressions. Everybody going, not gonna do it. George H.W. Bush
that's
never did that.
Yeah.
That was him creating that character.
Yeah, that's right.
So-
That's very true. Yeah, I've got a character named Hondo Onaka that people have said, well, that reminds me of somebody. This reminds me of somebody. And I don't know if, of course, you probably wouldn't have use for this, but when I've come up with different characters over the years, he's from Star Wars, Clone Wars, and he is Yul Brynner
Okay.
and Charles Bronson put together. They'd have a hideous kid,
Right.
but if they had a child, he would possibly sound like this.
Yes.
And so that was my Hondo. That's how I came up with a character.
Yeah, you combine a
Yeah,
couple different people
yeah.
to get the. I mean, that was another thing when I was first out in LA, and they're talking to me about different. Some of these voice actors are amazing because you can say now add in a little bit of this now, and you have to be able to, when you're a voice actor at the highest level, you have to be able to take that direction. And if as soon as you can do that, they go, okay, we got a pro. We know we can work with this person all the time, and it's a skill. I mean, I think I think it's a skill that needs to be worked on, and you have to be able to listen, understand, and then put it out. Then you have to produce, and those are three different things. And when you put them all together,
You're Jim Cummings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. People ask me all the time, what kind of advice, what's a good advice to do what I do or whatever, do you get that a lot? Do you?
Yeah, mostly for
it's like,
stand-up.
how do you be funny?
yeah. Well, I tell you, just got to go do it.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as practicing it. You just got to go do it. You stand up.
There you go.
You got to go up there and take your lumps
Yeah.
as a stand-up comic, and just now the thing is, you got to go to a lot of bad venues where a laundromat or something, and it's not realistic. And then people start using easy jokes and just get dirty for no reason. And
Yeah, sure,
I
sure.
think there are things like that's a thing where a lot of up and comers will do that. There are venues to go. You just got to be willing to take the beating.
Yeah.
And I've seen people go viral for being terrible.
Yeah.
And the thing is, most people will forget. I mean, it might bother you personally, but so many things now, it's the thing that bothers me too about the internet. Like something terrible can be a jumping off point for somebody. You're going, oh, that's what made you famous?
Yeah.
And that's what's making, and you're just milking that? And who wouldn't?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Like the Hawk Tua girl.
yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. It was
Yeah.
like, but whatever, you take those. When are you going to have those opportunities?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Get that money and get out.
just take it. Why not put it?
Because the next thing everybody's going to be looking at, the attention lasts it's very fleeting these days.
Yeah, it's crazy. And but I always I don't know. I just get stuck on quality, and I've lowered my quality control. And I've gone, okay, I'll do some of this and some of this. I've done a lot of that.
What's your quality
But
control?
I just I look at it and go, well, you got to get somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, but I get tired. One of the reasons I love doing podcasts like this is I get to talk, and there were moments where new things came out, or different things, or different moments that can spur something in the future. And it might even have been more if I'd have let you talk more.
No, that's a perfect problem. It's a great problem to
That was
have.
a really fun one. That was just a really good day of podcasts. It was.
Oh no, I'm
really
not
good
done
ones.
yet.
Yeah, that's right.
No, you are.
I'm sure you're not.
You're done. You're done. You're cut
thank you.
off. No, but you do have something coming up, right? That you want to tell people about.
I've got frankonstage.com tells you all the dates. There's some more that are going to be added. You don't even have to spell Caliendo. If you want to spell Caliendo, it's the letter C, the word alien, and the word do. Frank C. Alien do. But you don't need it. It's
nice.
It's at Frank Caliendo on all social media, which I'm sure will tag and be on everything. But
See, I can't do that. My last name's Cummings.
yeah, right. The wrong things are going to
Figure it out yourself.
yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
And that's when he realized that this was a G-rated site.
Yeah.
Maybe PG, but we weren't going for the last name version.
Thank you.
The
See what he did there, man?
It was tremendous. He did a lot of things.
I don't get it. Folks, come on.
yes. Use your name to your advantage. How do you do that? I don't know. Stark didn't work for me. So that was what I used to do, because it was when it was a person that I knew. I used to do a bit. It was Casey Kasem played Robin in Batman, the Super Friends.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
Which is Ted Knight.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice.
That's great.
It was, but Casey Kasem played Robin, and the bit was you could tell, because Batman and Robin would come in on the crime scene. Batman's like, who could have done this? There's Robin.
Look, Batman, there's a letter from the Riddler. And he writes, Dear Batman and Robin, it's been a long time since I last saw either one of you. But while I was in prison, I came up with the most diabolical plot of all time. A plot to take over Gotham City and the rest of the world. But I needed a partner. Batman, because I'm the Riddler, I can't tell you who that partner is. But the answer lies in a song from 1978.
But it was, who was the voice of, we're supposed to be done, and I just, but
No.
The voice of Fred, and
Fred McMurray?
No, the voice of Fred on Scooby-Doo. Famous.
Casey Kasem.
No, the voice, he was Robin.
Of course it was.
Casey Kasem was Scooby.
Fred. Fred.
Yeah, look up Fred on. I can't think of who it is. He's a famous one.
He did a lot. He did a lot in here. A lot of voices that came from this.
Frank Welker.
Frank Welker. Welker, yeah.
Yeah.
And but he
It
was, I think, might have been
the little gremlin voice or whatever.
Hey, punky buddy.
Those.
Yeah.
But that, those voices, those original, the Hanna-Barbara. But I used to use the Super Friends announcer in my act. Meanwhile, somewhere in another joke. I grew up watching them. All right, we're done. Get out of here. FrankOnStage.com, Paramount Theater in Aurora, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. So
Yes.
Paramount Theater in Aurora, Illinois, frankonstage.com. And there's other stuff, some stuff in Nevada and stuff like that. So
Great.
Cool.
Great. Well, thank you again so much. That
Fantastic.
was a good time. That was a good time. And thank you guys all for watching out there. If you guys like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. And I got to tell you something. YouTube is a great website, but it's a weird website because you can literally watch a video and then never see it again. It's never recommended, not the channel, not nothing. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Like and subscribe if you like this. If you like it so much that you want to see more, I got some good news. There's a Patreon channel where you can check out Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. You can find bonus content, extended interviews, stuff you don't get to see here on YouTube, and a whole lot more. There's question and answers, there's giveaways, there's all that good stuff. So check it out there. And with all that said and done, I'm producer Chris, the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings, and Frank Caliendo. Thank you again so much for being here.
Thanks, everybody.
We will see you in the next one.
Fantastic.